This part of the patio makeover, we're going to be concentrating on this area right underneath this beautiful albizia tree. Now, this is a flat crown, indigenous tree. It loses its leaves in winter, but then in summer, when we really need the shade, it has this really beautiful thick mat in almost like a carpet, so it's going to give a lot of beautiful shade here. But there poses a problem, and this is often a problem with a lot of gardeners. Well, what do I plant underneath here that can cope in the sun in winter and in the shade in summer? So we need to, it's a bit of a tricky area, and we need to think carefully about what we're going to do. But we've got a plan up our sleeve, and first of all, this is what we're going to do. In a trip to Chelsea about a year ago, one of the show gardens was this most amazing serpentine that had been created by using cut-off log rounds. And the cut-off log rounds had been used and spaced in various sizes, almost going like a crescendo, from low up to a bigger one, and then once again going down. So it almost looked like a serpent going through the garden. Well, we're taking it one step further, and based on that inspiration, we're going to create these segments out of concrete and let them wind their way through this garden, planted up with something spectacular that I'm keeping as a surprise for you. And we're really going to transform this area. The plants that we use will cope in the sun and winter, and in the summer, they'll be able to cope in the shade. So Garth and I are off now to go and start making those segments. So the general idea is that we've got to make loads of these segments that we're going to be using within the garden space. Now, we're going to show you how to make one of them, get it right, so you've got the right tools and the right idea, and then you can simply go wild with them as to the different sizes that you're needing. So Garth, first things first is the thing that I'm standing on. That's what we need.
Yes,
this is a piece of shutterboard. Now, if you're attempting any concrete DIY makeover, this is something that you really need to invest in, because you're going to use it over and over again. So we've got a big piece of shutterboard that I'm on top of. What's next?
Okay, right, Tanya, all you have to do, anywhere on the board,
okay,
just take a nice nail,
right,
bang it in,
right,
and then you work out what size you want your
segments. So what we're wanting to do is we're going from small, we want this to almost have like a crescendo, from going smallish to high and then down. So it almost looks like there's like a serpent in the garden that's going through.
That's right.
So we'll start with the smallish one.
Okay.
Okay.
All you have to do, go around like that, hold it nicely.
Okay. Okay, so we've got the circle going round, and that you can just make any size you want.
Any size, Tanya.
Okay.
The next step, knock a couple of long nails spaced about 10 centimetres apart along the circle circumference.
Right, all the way around now. People that are watching it are going to be very confused because they're thinking we're making half segments and here we've got a complete round. But you've got a plan.
I've got a plan, Tanya.
Okay, let's go.
All right, first thing, remove this.
Right.
Center nail.
Okay.
And just take your masonite.
Okay, this is just masonite that you've cut up into strips.
That's all, Tanya.
And the height of the strip?
About 70 mils.
And that determines the thickness of our segment.
That's correct.
Okay, got it.
So all you do, put it inside there.
Okay. Right.
And you take another piece.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can just cut it. You see there, you just cut it around about there.
Okay. So in other words, we're wanting this to go all the way around here. Okay.
Okay, next thing is, Tanya, we'll push it nice and tight.
Okay.
All right. Then we'll just take another piece of masonite here.
Right.
And we'll go across, there's your centre mark there.
Okay.
There and there. Push it up nice and tight.
So this one needs to be cut really,
And then we
well. Okay.
just cut that off. It doesn't have to be very snug, Tanya,
Okay.
because that little bit of concrete that is there is just going to,
Yes.
once they split, it's just going to come apart.
Okay. So we put that in the middle.
Yes.
So now we have two half segments.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay, Tanya, what we're going to do, we're going to use the same mixture again. 2 stone, 2 river sand, and 2 cement.
Okay, nice and strong.
Nice and strong.
How's that, Bob?
That looks good, Tanya.
Perfect. Okay, in with the water. How's that, Bob?
Do you want me to mix it up?
Sharon, I'll hand over just now.
But don't you have to go?
Okay, the mixture is well mixed in together. We've got nicely smooth. We're not seeing any particles left of the dry ingredients. And now it's time to start putting it into our mold, Garth. Okay.
This side first, then this side, just to keep the...
Here we go. I can't guarantee that it's going to land up in the circle.
Pop a couple of spadefuls into the mould, evening it out as you go along using a trowel. Make sure you agitate the concrete with a trowel. This will help eliminate air bubbles.
Okay, Garth, how are we doing?
Right, Tanya. I think what you can do now is just take your rubber mallet.
Uh-huh.
All the way around.
Okay.
You can see, like it just comes to the top.
And already the bubbles, you start seeing the bubbles pop through.
That's correct.
Now, folks are going to be watching and saying, ooh, but look, this is a bit crooked. But that's actually not a problem at all, because what's important is this curve at the top, because that is going to be shown in the garden. Most of this at the bottom is just going to be buried beneath the soil. So don't really worry if your segment at the bottom is not exactly straight. Okay, Garth, what's up now? You're just busy smoothing it off?
I'm just going to smooth it off, Tanya. Let it dry for about a week.
Okay.
And then you can take the masonite out.
Garth, this is looking cool. Okay, dried one, just on a week, and now all we've got to do is unveil it.
Yes, Tanya.
Okay, what happens?
All you've got to do is just push your nails back.
Okay, we don't actually need to even pull them out.
No, you just push them back this way.
Okay. All right.
Right, and you just grab this one flappy.
Okay.
And yeah,
Up comes the masonite.
and it just pops out like that.
Brilliant. Looking good. Okay. And then we can just pick up the segment.
You
Let's
just
take
pick
a
it
look.
up, Tanya.
Awesome stuff, Garth. Let's get these over to the garden and
All
let's
right.
see how we're going to place them.
Okay.
Before Garth and I get too excited about putting down the segments in the garden, we have to clear the bed. There are a few bits and pieces that are hanging around here. The September bells, really small trees, slow growing, but really in the wrong spot. I mean, when you've got a glorious tree like this, let the tree be the absolute main attraction. And then I've got some bromeliads, bit of bulbine, and really poor soil. So, Garth, let's get all these things out. We'll see what we can recycle, and then put in our creme de la creme afterwards. Alrighty, we're going to start right close to the edge, and this is going to be with our smallest moon or half segment, as you can see here. So I'm just going to just level it out slightly, and in he goes right there. Now, in terms of the spacing, well, that depends on how many segments you've made. So you're really just going to have to fiddle around with it, move them about, and see what works on your eye. That's what's most important. I think we can put the next one here, Garth. So let's pop him in there. There we go. Okay. And yeah, let's get the others. And then we're just going to swing it round through the bed and swing it round to the other side.
Once you've placed all the half moons, it's time to prepare your soil for planting. Throw in a bag of fertilizer, followed by a couple of handfuls of organic bone meal.
Okay, bed is turned over. Before I get to planting, I just want to level it out a bit so that we're all going in the same direction here.
And the planting begins. Tanya's replanting the bromeliads using the rock as her centerpiece.
Right, the bromeliads are in. You can see I've spaced them in groups of 3 around the rock, just to the back of the tree and on that side, just so that it balances it all out. If I had to leave them all on this side, finish up with the planting, it's going to look unbalanced. Always important when you are working in your garden and you're working with big groups of plants. But now, the piece de resistance, the plant I've been waiting and dying to show you. Garth, give me one of these gorgeous babies. Take a look at these guys. It's the season for these guys. Absolutely, clivias. These are the most beautiful, beautiful flowers. They are flowering at the moment. Go along to your local garden centre, find some. If you can't find them in flower, buy the seeds because they are so easy to grow. And in a shaded spot like this, where the sun, when summer it's going to be shaded and in winter it's going to get a bit of the sun, they will be perfect. Absolutely beautiful. So I can't wait to get them in to the ground and see how gorgeous they look.
Make sure you group your plants, the bromeliads together and the clivias together.
There we have it. The garden is planted up with these beautiful clivias. We've made use of the bromeliads. Our segments are in and they wind up past me around the garden to the other side, which draws your eye right through it. And remember, we said you can play around with these and do all sorts of different types of after effects with them. Just the finishing touches. Of course, you could go one step further and maybe put a row of pebbles in between them, and that could just enhance them even more and make them stand out in the garden. I quite like this look. It's tropical. We've got tropical bromeliads mixed with these beautiful clivias. There's one thing that if you are going to spray, this is what you should use. It's called Margaret Roberts Biological Caterpillar Insecticide. The thing is, you've got to see the worms first and then spray. That's critical. You can't just spray this on and then hope that if a worm comes along and eats it, well, they're going to stop eating it. It doesn't work like that. This is one of the safest products in the market. It's entirely organic and really safe to have around you and your family. So, besides that, there are always a few little things about gardening that we've got to be careful of. And enjoy these clivias while you can, right through the spring and into early summer. And I think it looks just fab. All I need now is a bit of rain on me to cool us all down. Anyway, folks, till next week, do take care and happy gardening.
The Gardener is proudly brought to you by PPC Cement.